Hey, Sashka, welcome to the show. I'm so happy you're here.
Hey, Rachel, thank you for having me.
Well, why don't we just start off by you introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about you?
Oh, awesome. How much time do we have? This could
Uh,
take a while.
let's just pour ourselves some wine and have fun.
Yes, we like that idea. Wine, bring it on. So,
Yes.
as we notice, we both wine lovers. Yes,
Yep.
I like to have my red wine. I like Portuguese or Spanish or Argentinian. Born and raised in South Africa my whole life. So, my roots are in Africa. I moved to London, UK, as most South Africans do, because it's part of the Commonwealth. Went to go work there for 2 years. Came to Austria for a snowboard holiday and met my husband. And I've been in Austria ever since in the Alps.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it is pretty awesome. Yeah. We have 3 kids. I never wanted kids and I never wanted to get married. Never say never.
Right?
And I started my own business in 2008 when I was pregnant with my third child. Started it off as business consultant and ad agency, and it grew from there into a whole different world. Still doing strategy and marketing and brand, but from a different perspective, from the soul, baby, from the soul.
So tell us what you're doing now exactly and what does soul branding mean?
Ah, love that. So in traditional marketing, there's a lot of focus on the product and the service, and you build a brand around that. And I did a lot of research, a lot of facts, figures, observations, and noticed from the big brands that really make a difference, they created it from their life purpose. So Apple, Think Differently, Pink, where you be true to yourself, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, where it's all about perseverance, and from celebrities, a lot like they really have impact. And then there'll be brands that do it more from product or services. So you'll have Volkswagen, or you'll have Hyundai, or you'll have Coca-Cola, where they struggle with bringing it from a life purpose because the focus is all around the product and service and emotional branding and brand. So they're always having to almost recreate themselves. Whereas if you're doing and creating your brand and building it from a brand perspective, from your life purpose, you're expanding on your starting mark. So starting off as just Coca-Cola, or starting off as just, what's he, heavyweight champion or whatever. No, he's not a heavyweight. What was Dwayne The Rock? Wrestling champion or something. You move on from that starting point to point that you want to influence generations, not just selling a product and service. So you want your own methodology, you have your own leadership, your own thought leadership, you move into a whole different sphere of people and collaborations and networking. And there's more of an impact, a deeper impact, as opposed to a mass impact. And yeah, so that's what I do. I create brands that influence generations.
I love that. And that's so different than the typical branding talk that you hear.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so fun, so fun. Okay. Man, I have so many questions for you. Let's start.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Like, where do we start? Okay, let's go. So something I saw on your blog is that the mainstream is killing our brands. So talk about that and how do we fix that?
Um, we, as I mentioned before, so mainstream is killing our brands. So when we focus just on product and service, we tend to hide who our identity is and who we are. So we play down our ego, and our ego is very important for our vision and the direction we're going, the navigation of our brand. So the things that we really, really, really want, where we're told, oh no, that's being selfish. That's being a little bit boastful. No, you can't be doing that. But that's really what our ego wants. And that's what drives us. And where the mainstream will tell us not to focus on that, but focus on benefits and features and bring an emotional branding, which is all good because we all need to start somewhere. I mean, I did the same, and bringing in your story. And I really struggled with this because I was like, I don't have a story. So I can't be a brand because I don't have a story. So what am I going to do? So I had to focus on other things like you do when you don't have money, or you don't have a roof over your head, or shelter or something. You need to find different solutions in which to bring yourself to the forefront if you want to. How to survive. You don't have that much money in the month, so how are you going to buy all your groceries and turn the pennies around so you can afford everything? So the mainstream only gives you one solution. And as a creative visionary, you need to think of different solutions. And expand on that. So if someone just goes, you can only sell using this sales page, it's like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I can also go and do it on Facebook and just create a notes page. Or maybe I can just do articles on LinkedIn and link them then to a YouTube page, and not just think in the conventional methodology, and rather expand on your thinking.
So thinking outside the box.
Well, get rid of the box.
Get rid of the box. For those of us who've been trapped inside of the box, what are some ways that you could help us expand our thinking?
Oh, I love that. So I have a free training. It's called the Hunger Games and the Brand Formula. And in this training, I help you to see what's in you already through timelines. And in the timelines, creating content from that. Because I had such a great interview with Jay Shetty and Lewis House. And he said something, you can only become something, or you can't become something that you don't know, which is true. So he never knew he wanted to become a monk, Jay Shetty, until someone came into the room one day where there was a training, and a monk came in and told him, and he was like, I want to become a monk. So unless you expose yourself to new things and new thoughts and new ideas, and see it as, oh, hang on a moment. So there's actually a different way that I could do this. There's actually a new way or something expansive that I can do. I don't have to do this. And saying to yourself, this is not the only way. There's a different way to this. That is one way that you could start to go, I don't need to actually just do a sales page. I don't have to start with my branding first, because that's the usual, the only way I'm going to stand out is if I have my branding. And then you do your branding based on trends and colors, the usual branding. And then after 6 months, you're kind of like, it doesn't feel like me anymore. I don't understand this. Why is nobody looking at me? It's like, dude, you got to go within yourself. You got to do stuff that you love. I know when I do Facebook ads or events, I have a lot of alter egos, and I love them all. And I was always told that that was my weakness, because I love dressing up. So I love the Mad Hatter, I love Alice in Wonderland. So I have photos of the Mad Hatter, or I'm the godmother, like the godfather, the masculine version. And people would go, oh, that's not very professional. And I go, says who? You? I don't want you as my client. So thank you for your information.
I love this.
But I'm like, no, I'm going with it. So when I go on LinkedIn with my godmother picture, and I'm doing ads, and people are going, that's not very professional, very LinkedIn. I'm going, great. Maybe I'll bring some people out of their closet so that they can stand up and, come out of themselves and go, this isn't the only way, and ruffle a few feathers. And it takes a lot of courage to go there, because, often you're going, oh, well, then maybe I won't get clients. And then it's going, well, maybe I don't want those clients. I want my soul group. I want my people.
Totally. Oh my gosh. You were like speaking my language. And
Yes.
For those of you who are listening to the podcast, you don't see us on video, we're both wearing hoodies, which is so unprofessional. And I don't care, because I'm so comfortable right now. But like, when you do that, you're going to really attract your tribe of the people you love to work with. So we just hosted a VIP retreat. And I had people come from all over the US, and we were all wine drinking, yoga pants wearing, just awesome people. And we had so much fun. And we were going out to a nice restaurant one night, and all of us were like, do we need to dress up? And we're all like, nah, like, let's just wear our yoga pants. Who cares? But I love that. Like, who says you can't just be yourself? Who says you have to be this like super proper version just because that's what you see other people doing? Just be different. And that picture that I saw of you in the Mad Hatter, like, it totally stuck out to me, and it made me remember you.
Oh,
right? Yeah. And that's what you want to, like, as a brand, to have someone remember you. So that's so cool.
Okay. Yeah. Because we taught to, when I do keynote speaking, I often say this, from a young age, we taught to copy. So what are you going to become when you grow up? Who do you want to be when you grow up? So you grow up with the identity of becoming somebody, and not knowing that you are already somebody. Yeah. And then which is good, because, you want to aspire to something, but we're not taught to then stop copying, or how to stop copying. So when we see something in someone else, it's just kind of like, oh man, that's really cool. I want that too. It's like, well, cool, do it. No, I couldn't possibly do it because I'm a lawyer, or I'm a nurse, or something. Like, yeah, but there's someone inside of you. There's the alter ego that wants to go, come out and show herself or himself.
How do we find that alter ego?
Oh, I love alter egos. Alter egos have been with you since you were born. So it's all the things that give you I don't want to even say the courage, because it just accentuates who you are. So it's not hiding behind a character, it's just accentuating that different higher self within you, because we're so multi-passionate. We've got so many personalities, so we can be so many personalities. So for me, I love all the Mad Hatter, and I love the Godmother, and I love what's that movie? The Greatest Showman with top hats and circus.
Oh my gosh, that's my all-time favorite movie. All-time favorite. I could listen to the music from The Greatest Showman
yes!
all day forever.
Exactly. So all those things that come out, I love putting on those characters because I know it's in me. When I put on a suit, I feel restricted and limited because for me, there's no creativity. But it may be for someone that when they step into a suit, that they feel powerful. Everybody has their own alter ego. I was listening to Todd Herman, and I can't remember what he called it, where he wears glasses, and where Martin Luther King was the same. He had 20/20 vision, but it just gives you a different version of yourself where people take you more seriously.
Huh.
So when he puts the glasses on and even has great vision, it's all, all fine and everything like that. It's just giving people that are looking at him a different perception and makes him look more intelligent or whatever like that. And for me, it's like more approachable because I'm from the acting world. So, and you stand on stage and performing. I love performing because it helps people open up within themselves the imagination that they keep hidden.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Okay. No, I'm like really enjoying this.
Awesome.
Okay. Talk to us about brand clarity and how do we achieve that?
Brand clarity can, in my opinion, mainly be achieved when you know your life purpose. Now, your life purpose is independent of your profession, your talents, and your gifts. It's got nothing to do with that. I know for myself, when I went on this, everybody hits this pivotal moment where you kind of like, why am I here? I don't understand why I'm living. What is the reason for this life? I think I'm going to kill myself because I can't deal with this. And we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of me? And I went on this mission to find out, well, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing here? And a lot of people and information that I got were like, look at your passions, look at your hobbies, look at your interests. Great. I'm passionate about relieving myself when I really need the toilet. That's really passionate. So, but I don't want to become a urethra or some nurse or something to that effect. So I was like, okay, this isn't working for me. Or I'm very passionate about incomplacency in people. But I did NLP and psychology. It's not my profession. I'm not a coach. I do not have the patience because people go around in victim mode. I'm like, oh, for Pete's sake, will you get out of it? And I just like don't have the patience. It's not going to work. So when I found my clarity, I was able to bring it into my brand through finding my life purpose. And it was so clear. I was like, oh my God, yes. And now it's like, oh, I get this. So whenever I put anything out into the world with my brand, my values and my life purpose are in the forefront always. And that for me gives me clarity. Now for someone else, it may be grounding, it may be breathing, it may be going to the sauna, however they found it in their clarity. As long as they're really clear, that's who I am, and I'm able to communicate that clearly and with clarity in my brand. Because often entrepreneurs are like, I love this. I'm feeling so inspired today. I think I'm not going to do anything. And then later on the afternoon, they'll be like, I'm in the woods and this is so beautiful and I'm connected to nature. And it's got nothing to do with their brand. Absolutely nothing. And then the next day it'll be a different message. And then the next day a different message. And I'm like, I'm all for inspired action as long as you stay within the focus and clarity of your brand. Because then people are like, okay, I'm with you. I understand. I can join the dots where all of this is going. Now I know why I want to buy something from you, because you're answering my questions of things that I want, not things that I need. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Go on. I had to stop myself there. I'm like,
Okay. When we're creating our brand, what should be the very first steps that we take?
first is to decide for yourself, so a brand is expanding on your starting point in your business. So it's for you then to decide, okay, how far do I want to actually go with this? Do I just want to stay being a business? Because when I create a brand, it means I'm going to expand on my starting point. So Apple, for example, the starting point was these dudes in a garage and they're doing little chips for a motherboard for a computer. And they go and sell this in multitudes. And it's like, yeah, cool. And Steve Jobs is like, hang on a moment. If this is for this computer, but it's not really making the lives of people that are using that computer intuitively and easy, what could this chip do if I change the computer? So he expanded on his starting point and using the life purpose of thinking differently. So he drove himself into a frenzy as well. So expanding on that all the time, which influences generations. So people are going to take that methodology, that Scientology, well, not Scientology, all that ologies, and putting it into practice so that they can expand on that. Now, when you just in business, anybody can start a business. Kids start businesses. I have a product, I sell it for a price to a market and get money for it. Basta. So it depends what you want to do. So if you want to go further with the brand, you have to know you're going to be in an uncomfortable zone permanently because you're always going to be expanding. Everything's going to feel uncomfortable. Everything's going to feel, this isn't right, nobody's listening to me, I don't understand where this is going. But when you have the focus of your life purpose, you've got the clarity to keep moving forward, and you expand then within the brand. So you know what marketing you're going to do, what branding you're going to put around it, what message, and your ego will be driving the navigation.
Why shouldn't we focus on creating a logo right away?
Because unless you know who you are, and you're very, very grounded in your identity and your personality, your values, and your life purpose, creating a logo often comes from emotions and from feelings. And those are often a little bit dysfunctional because it depends on your mood. So I might create a logo today, and being a woman, you know, you have your periods and it's like, yes, I love that. This is fantastic. And then at the end of the month, when you're having a slump, you're going, I hate this. It doesn't represent me at all. I don't understand this. Where was my brain? And then you don't like the colors. So you really need to be grounded in who you are. A logo, a good logo, should come with branding, with the colors, the fonts, and the whole messaging around it. So expanding on that as well, because just a logo, it's just a stamp. And it's a stamp of who you are. And it's a recognizable mark wherever you are, that you go, oh, okay, that I can relate that to that person or that brand. And if you don't know who you are, you're wasting a lot of money, where you should first know, who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I doing all of this? Find your strategy, your foundation first, and then create your branding.
Oh, that's good. Talk to us about soul client, soul brand. What's the difference, and how do we develop that soul brand to attract the soul client?
So I believe you first start with your soul, your life purpose, which then gives you your soul group. Okay. Your soul group is the group of people that you want to attract. Your soul clients from that group have different phases, which you then speak to those people in the different phases. And your brand is then you, your soul brand, from your life purpose. So I have a client who came to me and said, oh, you know, I want to help people lose weight. I was like, great. And I have this ability. This is mine, and there are a lot of people that have this as well. I doused mine a little bit because I grew up in a very religious family. But then when I came back to, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So when this client told me she wants to help people lose weight, I was like, not feeling that. I can't see the greatness there. And I was like, well, I don't know if we're actually a good match. And then I started seeing pictures of her differently. And I was like, oh man, these two things aren't working together. So let's see what we can find out here. And what we found out from a life purpose, this definitely wasn't helping people losing weight, but it was helping people with making choices. And I helped her with her methodology. She's writing a book, knowing exactly what target markets she wants to be going into in the niche, who her soul group are, who the soul clients are, and the brand is then speaking exactly to that soul group. Because you can't, when you speak to everybody, you're speaking to nobody.
Yes.
You have to be very, very specific.
Preach.
But it's difficult to go, like when someone goes, so what niche are you in? You know, what audience are you speaking to? And they'll go, I'm speaking to women entrepreneurs who are moms. And I'm going, yeah, so what are the psychographics? Like, give me the deets, you know, really get into it. And often you can't put it into words. So you'll write down, oh, they like magazines, or they like this, or, you know, they'll go to yoga and stuff. Yeah, those are habits. My habits can change. Like, I'll go to yoga now, and then I don't feel like it, and then I'll go to Zumba, and then I don't feel like it, and then I just don't want to do anything and be a couch potato. So you need to be really clued up on how their thought patterns are, how they think. That's business. So putting that into practice then. So soul group, soul clients will then bring up the soul brand to those.
Can you expand a little more on that niching down of, okay, I want to work with the mom entrepreneur, but how do I target her, that specific ideal client, as opposed to just all mom entrepreneurs who maybe want to do yoga?
So I'm going to give myself as an example. So
Perfect.
My soul group are creative visionaries with underdog mentalities, not victims. So underdog mentality, where they're very powerful within themselves, or they have a following, or they're surrounded by people. They're leaders, not knowing that they're leaders. And I help them raise that leadership so they know what to do with their life purpose. So they don't feel that they're the underdog, but rather the top dog, or the under God, also to that point. So that's my soul group. Now, in that soul group, there are different soul clients because they're in different phases. So the way I speak to them, there's not a man, there's not a woman. For me particularly, it is they're mainly masculine and they need to find their femininity. So they're all in doing, but always creating. And you need to bring the two together to give them that feeling of, oh, hang on a moment, I'm complete, because they're feeling incomplete or unbalanced. And when I speak to them, there are so many personalities, so much life phases that they've been going through. So they may be a mom, they may not be a mom. They may be a dad, they may not be a dad. They may be in corporate, they may not be in corporate. What I'm speaking to is the soul group broken down into the soul clients in their different phases. So I'm able to specifically speak to them from my soul brand to them.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. I hope y'all are taking notes, because this is amazing. Amazing. Okay. Why is brand consistency so difficult to achieve, and what should we be consistent with?
Consistency general, whether in business, with your brand and life, it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's, you know, I admire athletes. Or let me put it this way. I'm sure that a lot of people that are listening, and if not, we're familiar with the wheel of life. Now, the wheel of life has a shitload of things happening in this wheel of life. There's financial, vocational, educational, familial, relationship, spiritual, I can't think of social, all these things happening simultaneously in our lives. So someone comes to me and they go, I have 3 pillars in my life. It is my health, my career, and my relationships. And I'm going, So what about the spiritual and the educational and the financial and all those other things that come with it? So it's being consistent with all those things. So you need to train yourself through habits to be consistent with all those things, to make sure, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes or 10 minutes of sport today. So I've got my physical happening. I need to be looking in my bank account every single day and ensuring that I have a relationship with my money. I need to be educating myself. Read 3 pages of a book every single day. There are little habits that we can do, but often we set, like myself, an overachiever, we set these huge goals and we're going, I'm going to run a marathon, but I can't run. But it's like, I'm going to run a marathon. It's just like, yes, Sashka, whatever. So it's setting little, you know, just having little steps so that you can achieve everything through the day. And then you enforce habits of consistency. But what we tend to do is because there's so many things happening at the same time, you get yourself into overwhelm, and then you become inconsistent. Not incontinent, but inconsistent. Yeah. So consistency is, I struggle with it sometimes as well, because sometimes you just want to be freaking lazy. You just want to lie down and just do zero, jack squat, and just leave me alone because there's so much happening. But it's creating habits, just little steps to create habits.
For sure. Something that really helped me when I was first starting my business was reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and just realizing like success isn't like this one day thing where I'm going to work so hard for one day and then everything's going to magically happen. It's the stuff that nobody sees. It's the daily grind of, I don't feel like writing this blog post today, but I'm going to do it anyways. And just like those little tiny habits that nobody will ever see. You're not going to get any applause for it, but it's going to add up over time.
Exactly. I love that.
For sure. What really helped me was just starting with, okay, I'm going to do something small and it's like manageable, and I'm going to focus on one thing before I add on another habit. So for me, it was, I'm going to read 10 pages. And when I got that done, I was like, okay, now I can add on something else. I can start waking up earlier or whatever.
Exactly. And I think connected with that, maybe it's just my opinion, is to reduce on the people pleasing. I know for myself with my kids will go, oh, Mom, I need this and this. And I'll be like, oh, I better do it because otherwise they won't like me. Like, Sashka, they're not supposed to like you. You're their mother. You're here to teach them things. Just get this straight. Yes, that's right. So I have this inner dialogue with myself where I'm like, kids, I need to do this first. When I'm done, then I'll have time for you. And the kids are like, oh, okay. Instead of just jumping and like, okay, I'll do it now so I can please everybody.
Yep. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Talk to us about the dark side of entrepreneurship and how you combat it.
The dark side. For me personally, it's the overachieving. Like I never enough, failing everybody else instead of, just seeing it as a success. Like if I don't do this, then I'm going to be a failure, and I'm not going to, what I've been preaching wasn't actually achieved. And then I'm just going to be, oh my God. And who was I to think that I could actually do all of this? I have a lot of things going on at the same time, but that's me. I was built to do that. And also I've trained myself to recognize when it's too much and just to go, it's enough. Stop over there. The dark side of entrepreneurship for me is when you don't acknowledge when it's enough.
Yes.
And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing that you don't know what you're pushing for and where you're going and what are you digging for. And then you feel hopeless. There's just, you cannot get out of that hole. And it's just, no, you have to reach out to a group of people, friends, a community, and start talking and not keeping it within yourself. I know creative visionaries, we're all in our mind before we drop to our hearts. So you've got mind maps and conversations happening in your mind. You need to get it out, all of it out. Journal, find people. I love journaling, but I find we don't communicate enough anymore.
Totally.
So we need to talk. Because the more you talk, it's like journaling and you just get it out. You have verbal diarrhea, and then suddenly you're like, that feels good. I got space. I've Marie Kondoed my body and mind.
No, that's so good. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we're doers, and we are always taking action. We're always looking for like that next goal, that next thing that we're doing. And I totally actually realized this recently because there's a lot going on. We're moving from France to the States in February. We're going to Israel, 2 weeks in Senegal. We're launching in March. We're opening up a Pinterest agency. I'm speaking at a live event in April. Like there's a lot happening. And I was actually planning on coming back from Israel and Senegal and flying again from Paris to San Diego for a 2-day event. And just this morning, I was like, I'm canceling. I'm not going. And I canceled the ticket, and I was like, I just know myself that I'll end up like either resenting it or feeling more overwhelmed than I need to be. And I think it's really important that we know ourselves to be able to just be like, nope, this is enough. And I can take something off my plate and I don't have to apologize for it.
Definitely. I did Congratulations, by the way, on doing that.
Thank you. I was proud of myself.
That's a really big thing to do. You know, it's a really big, what helped me is one of my friends, Body Orchestra. She works with your periods and feminine hormones and stuff. And it was really interesting for me, like tracking your months and your moods.
Yeah.
Like you'll organize an appointment for today for maybe in 2 weeks time, and you're feeling pumped today, and it's like, yeah, I want to do this. And 2 weeks time come, but in that phase of your your hormone cycle, whatever, that could be exactly the phase where you don't want to see anybody, you're ready to kill somebody, and you're not in the same mood that you are now. So when I set up appointments now, I know, even speaking engagements, I'm like, okay, I know that time is not my best time. So I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to eat differently. I'm going to have different mindset to be my best self at that event, or podcast or whatever. So it's just getting to know yourself as well. And just by making that decision like you did, it's recognizing, going, oh, hang on a moment. I know what my trigger is, not for my best self. Yep. So good on you for like going, nope, don't want that trigger. I want to stay my best self.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Just like, I'm grateful that we'll be moving back to the States soon, just because it's 24 hours to get from Paris to San Diego. And I'm just like, for a 2-day event. And I'm like, this is
no.
I know. I'm like, it's going to take 24 hours to get there, 24 hours to get back. Plus it's time away from my family. And my husband will have to watch my son. And I'm like, wait. There are more events that I can attend, and we'll be in the States where we'll be closer. My parents could help watch TJ, and it'll just make way more sense. I don't have to be in such a rush to do it at this exact point.
Exactly.
And I can live stream it too. So
oh, cool.
Okay, so I saw on your website that you said today is the day to step out of your comfort zone and claim your place as a visionary leader. And I loved that. How can we do that?
Do it.
Just do it.
If you want it, do it.
Yeah.
Once you step out of that and it's like, oh, okay, you step into a different person of yourself.
Yeah.
And then you start, you'll make mistakes. You won't be seen. You won't be recognized. You will be seen. You will be recognized. Take it all on, take it all in, absorb it, digest it, spit it out into whatever, a blog post, a live, whatever's out there, but just do it. Because what we do is we're like, oh, let me contemplate this. Maybe there's something stopping me. What could that something be? The more you dig, the more you're going to find.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit that we've had through past lifetimes, growing up, parents, who knows, friends, acquaintances. We'll always find something that's stopping us. So it's just like, all right, people, coming through. I'm going right through this whole year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lisa Nichols says, what most people forget is that there's one door, and that door is just for you, for nobody else. It's for you to go through, do your thing, come back and fetch everyone else. So you're the only one that can fit through that door. So just standing there before it and going, well, maybe I do this, maybe I do it, maybe it's not the right time. So my advice is just do it.
Just do it. Keep it simple and just do it. That's something that I teach my students. So I tell them, take massive, messy action. Like, stop trying to be perfect. Stop overanalyzing. Just like freaking move forward. And they said that was one of the most liberating things that they got from going through the course, is that they got so much done in such a short amount of time, when it was taking them forever to just write a blog post, and they were like looking at everything and overanalyzing and just getting in their heads. And I'm like, no, just stop. Messy action. You're going to suck. That's okay. Most people won't see your stuff for the first several months anyway. So give yourself permission to suck and just take action and move forward.
Exactly. I like you, Rachel.
Yeah, I like you too.
That's the way. I was to say, done is better than perfect.
That's what I preach. I actually had someone make like a meme of me, like when we did one of my challenges. They wrote like, done is better than perfect with my name on it. I was like, yes, that's what I preach. For sure. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's the best book you've ever read?
What's the best book I've ever read? Harry Potter.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I love Harry Potter and The Alchemist. I was actually given that book by one of my best friends, and she was like, this is so you. And I'm like, Alchemist. Oh, okay, whatever. And I read and I'm like, this is so me. Like, Simple couldn't get any more simpler. It was like, yep, that's me. So series in that book. Yeah.
Awesome. And what does it mean to make an impact?
Right. What does it mean to me to make an impact? That I was able to shift in you the underdog mentality that's held you back for whatever decision that you're trying to make. And it can be really small. Like my biggest examples are with my kids. And it's got nothing to do with business. It's got nothing to do with profession. They'll just come with, I'm not being liked at school. It's really crappy. I don't have friends. How do you make an impact there? Being a mom, it's like, well, you should do this, 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 this. I don't like telling people what to do. So my biggest impact for helping people is to sit back and listen and let someone talk and pour their heart out. Because whilst you're doing it, you then, it yourself, when you talk, you answer your own questions. And then you get your own answers because we have all the answers within us. And it's just like, okay, cool. And then from there, if you need more action points, then I can help you from there. But overcoming that underdog mentality so that you're able to step into your leadership and to move forward.
Oh, so good. Well, what's next for you?
Oh my God, Rachel, you just have not fucking idea. Well, now everybody's going to have an idea. So up and beyond. So I'm at the moment organizing a lot of events for this year. One of the most challenging work I've been doing up to date is marketing for a nonprofit. And it's going to be phenomenal this year. I've organized the event of events. So I'm very excited about it. And for me, what's next for me is performing strategist, going higher, deeper, wider, expanding my self-growth, everything that you always thought maybe will happen one day. I'm just like, F it, I'm doing it now. I'm just doing it. And I don't care. I'm taking my own advice. Done is better than perfect.
Awesome. Where can we connect with you?
brandsashka.com, everywhere Brand Sashka, except on Twitter. It wasn't available. So that's Brand by Sashka.
Somebody took Brand Sashka.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Any final words of wisdom or advice for the listeners?
Trust yourself. Nobody else. Trust yourself first, because only you have the answers. Find people that listen before always giving you a lot of advice. Listen and know that you have the power within you, like power, like really, really power, like magical powers, Harry Potter, flu power, whatever, flu powder power, whatever is in you, you have it within you. You're the only one that can create your life. Only one.
Awesome.
Trust yourself.
So good. Well, we've only spent like 40 minutes together and I already adore you. And so thank you so much for just adding massive value to my people. And we'll make sure to put all the details in the show notes for you guys so you can check out Sashka. But thank you. You're amazing and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Rachel. Love you too.